David O'Connor, thank you so much for joining me. I just can't believe you're even here talking to me.
Thanks so much for having me. And you know what? It's always great crack talking to you, Jenny. That's for sure.
Stop the lights. I have to talk about you. You are the group general manager in Louis Copeland. So are they all afraid of their life of you?
No. They all think I have small man syndrome, but they're not afraid of me.
So look, today I want to talk, I want to give the lads a few tips because, sometimes it's all about the women and, and we need to give them a few tips. So talk to me about, what is a suit? What is a suit?
What is a suit? Okay. A suit is something that when you put it on, it's not about the way you look. Yeah. It's about the way you feel about yourself.
Yes.
So I think, it's funny in the store, you can see when guys put the suit on and they look at themselves in the mirror, they stand differently. They're definitely more confident.
Yes.
So I think I wouldn't call it a suit of armour, but it's certainly something that, that makes you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
And I think people tend to take you more seriously as well.
Yeah.
When you're wearing a suit,
Yeah. And with the wedding suit then, I mean, I come across a lot of my grooms who have gone in and they've, gone down the route of the made-to-measure suit.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. Like, do they need to know what colour that they're going to go for, or do you guide them down that route? Sometimes they want to go for a particular palette because of the women.
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
Okay, so I think what you're saying is then that they've seen something that they like.
Yeah.
They come in and they ask us the question, does it suit them?
Yes.
Right? We give them the truth.
Okay. So you don't lie.
No. So let me put that in perspective, right? Okay. You're never going to see me wearing a beige suit. Okay.
Okay.
So and I think if a couple comes in with ideas of stuff that they've seen, whether it be Instagram, Pinterest, other weddings they've gone to, I think that's a definite advantage because that gives a great conversation at the start.
Okay.
But we're going to tell the truth. And, I think it's very important to pick, you're talking about colour there.
Yes.
I think it's very important to pick a colour that's a good colour on you.
Okay.
Now, obviously Irish guys suit blues and that's why we sell so many blue suits.
Yes.
Green is also another good colour on Irish guys. And there's loads of different shades of bluey grey, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I think it's important to get a suit that you look good in and you feel comfortable in, not one that you've seen on somebody else that looks good.
Right. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
And then with the groomsmen then, do they come to you and say, like, I want to look a bit different to the groomsmen?
Totally, totally.
What do you do there? Do you change the tie or the waistcoat, or?
Well, the thinking I'd have around that is that if you take brides and bridesmaids, it's exactly the same.
Right.
So the bridesmaids will wear something that complements the bride's dress, but it's not matching.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same with the groom.
Right.
So I think that the groom should do something to elevate himself, to bring himself slightly forward in the pictures, that it's obvious, let's say, that he's the groom.
Yeah.
Now, there's loads of different ways to do this. A brighter colour.
Okay.
A different colour. Going for a contrast waistcoat with the guys wearing a matching waistcoat, like a 3-piece navy or something like that.
Sure.
But just all these little things just to elevate the groom slightly.
Yes.
And another example of that would be during winter, velvet has been huge.
Oh my God, velvet's so big, isn't it?
And it looks great, it photographs great.
Yes.
So in that instance, maybe the groom would wear a velvet jacket.
Right.
And, tuxedo trousers and a waistcoat. And then the guys would wear a plain black tuxedo.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So they're the same, but they are different.
No, they're complementing each other, but they're not the same. But in most weddings, that's what we're doing.
And talk to me. I always go on about the shirts. Janie Mackers, the amount of shirts and jackets at weddings that get destroyed.
Yeah.
Because men don't think about saying to women, careful with the makeup. And the women have gone off and had a full face of makeup painted on them. And they go in for a hug and they've destroyed the suit.
Yeah.
Do you give them any tips around that?
Yeah, buy 2 shirts.
But what about the jacket?
Huh?
What about the jacket?
I think, with jackets, unless you're wearing a very light colour, it's not going to show up too much. By the way, the best way to get a stain off quickly is a baby wipe.
Do you think?
Yeah. A baby wipe with a little bit of alcohol in it, that'll lift up the stain. It won't damage the garment.
Okay.
But like in most instances, it's the shirt that's going to get affected.
Yeah.
So I would have said it's a good idea to get 2 shirts.
It is. And I definitely tell them that they have to get 2 shirts. But David, the amount of jackets that do get a little bit ruined. So what I do is I sort of bring like a damp face cloth, one that
absolutely.
doesn't have any fibres.
Or a microfiber cloth.
Yeah.
Right? That will just give it a little bit. And you'd be surprised what you can get out with a bit of hot water. Yeah. Kind of squeeze the microfiber fabric out and give it a little wipe.
Yeah.
Most stains should come out.
So definitely 2 shirts. And even if it doesn't get destroyed, it's good to just change into it, isn't it, later on? To freshen up.
To freshen up, after you've had your dinner, for the evening's kind of party, and let's say you're going to feel better about yourself. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. How far in advance do the guys need to get in touch with you when they want to, get all decked out? Is there a particular amount of time, or does it matter?
Okay, so this is the most common question that I get asked.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
No, by couples as well. So the first thing I'd say is don't put pressure on yourself. Okay,
Right.
The last thing anyone wants to be doing 2 days, 3 days, a week before the wedding is running around waiting for a delivery of a made-to-measure suit or trying to get it organised. So leave yourself plenty of time.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Minimum, it's 6 to 8 weeks before the wedding. That's the minimum. But
For made to measure.
for made to measure.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we most of our made to measures, it was a little bit different last summer where there was a few delays. Most of our made to measures are delivered within 5 weeks.
Right.
Okay. But you don't want to be you don't want to take it down to the maximum all the time. So what I'd say is give yourself 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Be organised.
I even think
Enjoy the
10
process.
weeks isn't a lot,
Yeah. Well, compared to ladies. Yeah.
So talk to me. So, when they're coming in for their gear, do the women come in with them?
Of course they
And
do.
What do you think of that?
I think it's brilliant. I'm very pro women.
But we wouldn't let the fellas come in and look at the wedding dress.
Well, that's the way marriage goes, isn't it? So you better get used to it before you get married.
And when they come in, do they give their opinion? Do they more or less tell them what they're wearing, or do the lads kind of?
I think you get a mixture, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you can always tell kind of the way a couple
And
is.
don't hold back there, Dave. Just tell us the truth here, okay? Okay.
You can spot the good ones when they're in the store, okay?
Okay.
But no, I think that as a couple, I think they should pick the suit together. You know that way. I do think that both of them should get some sort of input.
Yeah. Okay.
But a lot of the time, the women in the relationship would know more about fashion and what suits the guy.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of guys, sometimes Irish guys, they wouldn't be too familiar around made-to-measure suits and colouring and all that. Whereas sometimes the female is a little bit more familiar.
Yeah.
But I do also think, bring in your wife, and maybe one of your friends. But when you see a 10 kind of army of advisors coming in now, then
You don't get that, do you?
you do sometimes, yeah. But you see, the problem with that is you're never going to get everyone to have the same opinion.
No.
Do you know? So you might have a granny, you might have a mother-in-law.
A granny?
Yeah, you might have a mother-in-law. Yeah, you might have a friend. Yeah, and the other thing I'd say as well is with groomsmen. On the first, when you're going into the store for the first time, okay, just the two of you go in, make the decisions, and then the groomsmen should follow suit,
Right?
Okay, because sometimes they bring the groomsmen in on the first occasion, and of course it's the same thing. Everyone starts kind of throwing in kind of their tuppence, let's say,
Okay.
and they might not be experts. Some of them might be, but some of them mightn't be.
Yeah.
So I think if a couple do a little bit of research beforehand, it always helps.
Okay.
And I think Instagram, I think Pinterest, I think going to other people's weddings. So many people have been to so many weddings over the last couple of years.
Yeah. There's been a huge amount this year.
A huge amount.
Yeah.
And I think people have really seen some things that they like, some things that they don't like.
Yes.
So book an appointment, come into the store, and then we'll take you through that first consultation. Okay, and we'll discuss what suits you. Colours. We'll discuss fit, fabric.
Yes.
Where you're
Talk to fabric is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, fabric is a big thing. Yeah, because there's so many people getting married abroad now.
Yes.
So and I think if you're getting married abroad, everyone thinks you have to go for linen. You don't.
You don't.
Because you can get superfine wools that are as breathable and as light as linen.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that now.
In loads of different colours.
Okay.
So it's important then in that first consultation to go through all of that, get your direction, make a few decisions, and then everything follows suit after that. And by the way, you don't even need to be there when the groomsmen come in. You can just send the groomsmen into us and we'll just kit them out.
Oh my God.
No.
Well, because you sure, like, I mean, who else? You're just amazing. You kind of fit my husband for all his bits and pieces. He loves you.
Yeah. Well, he's a good model as well, though, isn't he?
He's not half bad. And then customizing on the inside of the suit. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So,
because you were telling me something funny off air. Tell us.
Yeah, there's 2 T's in Matthew.
Fine. Well, I know that because my son is Matthew, but yes, did you only get one?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I thought it was being nice, and I put the name Matthew underneath the collar because you can get the embroidery underneath the collar or inside. So I flicked up the collar as a surprise. Let's say.
I know you like surprise.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, that's absolutely brilliant." Yeah, but that's not how you spell my name. These things happen.
My God.
But also as well, you can get the dates, initials, whatever you want. We can customize that as well for you. And I think it's nice actually.
Yes.
And during COVID, I know, I was saying to you earlier on, we were putting dates on the inside of the suits before COVID. But like during COVID, we kind of moved away from that because I think the wedding
dates kept changing.
Sure, there was people who were getting married a year and a half later than they.
Oh my God, almighty. Well, my son got married this year and he, wasn't just his wedding, they rearranged their wedding 5 times because of COVID,
It's very difficult.
So they would have had five different dates, Talk to me about ties versus bow ties. What are your thoughts? Would you leave that totally down to them, or what do you advise them to go for a tie or a bow tie?
You see, I maybe I should and maybe I shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I give my opinion.
Okay, good.
That's
good.
I have kind of thoughts, let's say, and they mightn't be exactly, everybody's thoughts.
Yes.
But, about a bow tie as opposed to a tie, right?
Yeah.
I think a bow tie with a tuxedo evening wear,
yes,
a velvet jacket, something like that, okay?
Yeah.
And a tie with everything else.
Right.
Okay? And I think, I think that's my opinion.
Yes.
I think that's what looks good. And I think ties with a lounge suit, as in non-tuxedo or evening wear, looks best.
Okay. And talk to me about tying the ties. Do you tie them for them?
Sometimes I have to, but I would say that's another tip I'd have for couples. Make sure there's somebody there on the day that can tie a tie. Yeah.
Like me?
Yeah. Hire Jenny.
It was actually Louis that taught me how to do a double Windsor knot. And a lot of them do like a double Windsor knot on their wedding day. So I tend to start with the groom and then head around to the groomsmen because they all want it done then. But definitely, when you see a beautiful, stunning suit, you don't want to ruin it with a tie that's not tied properly.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's one of the easiest ways to make a really good looking suit look scruffy.
Yeah.
So I think, it's important to get somebody there that can do a tie. Yeah. Without a doubt. Because it's a dying kind of trade, so to speak, isn't it? Because people aren't wearing ties as much now.
Well, you see, they're not because, again, COVID and working from home and all the rest of it, and they just still don't know how to tie them. Like, I get a lot of fellas tying them the way they used to tie them in school, and that's not good.
Yeah.
2 pair of socks. Would you say yes, 2 pair of socks? Or...
I wouldn't say that was critical. I would have said that 2 shirts is critical.
Yes.
Because you need to freshen up. But with regards to shoes,
yes,
do not wear your shoes for the first time on your wedding day.
Tell me your funny story. Remember the first time you went away with Louis? You have to tell them this.
That I went on my first buying trip. And it was just out of short pants, right? Okay. And I arrived, I was very young, and I arrived at the airport in a beautiful pair of Barker leather shoes, and I thought I was really cool going away on this buying trip. And Louis said to me, he says, "Where'd you get the shoes?" And I says, "I got them yesterday." And he says, "Yeah, they're lovely. Yeah. Let's see what happens." And I said, "What do you mean?" So I got onto the plane and I was walking over the other side. By an hour, my feet were bleeding.
Stop.
Yeah. So Louis, being the very kind gentleman that he is, brought me into a shop, bought me a pair of €29 runners, and I had to go around the fashion show, the fashion trip with my €29 runners. So that taught me a lesson.
My God! So their shoes, not to wear them for the first time on the wedding day.
And I was talking to one of our shoe suppliers there a couple of weeks ago, and he said to me, "David, I recommend 8 hours of wear to fully break in a pair of shoes. And
Really?
I thought I never heard that before. And
Wow.
I suppose he's right.
Yeah.
So even if you can get 4 or 5 hours wearing the shoe around
Yeah.
the house, if you're going for a walk or something like that, put it on you, because it'll make a huge difference on the wedding day.
Yeah. Oh my God. But they don't want to. You see, they don't want to be wearing the shoes in advance of the wedding day either, because they want them brand spanking new. But it's essential.
They still will be brand spanking new.
Yeah.
Especially if you're wearing around the house, or I'm not saying wear them out in the rain now or anything like that.
Yes.
They will still be new. But when you're dancing now at 1 o'clock in the morning, you'll be happy you did it.
And talk to me. So if people think Louis Copeland, I'm not going in there. That's going to cost me a fortune. Talk to me about prices, because people will want to know, like, what can they expect to pay if they go in?
Well, we've all different prices, and again, I think that's like a misconception about the stores.
Yeah.
I think everybody thinks that, minimum for a made to measure is going to be 2,500, 3,000. Now, we do sell made to measure suits for 2,000 and 2,500.
Yes.
But that's not our starting price.
Okay.
So for a made to measure suit, you could get a 2-piece made to measure suit for €1,000.
Okay.
So,
and that's very good.
Well, look, €1,000 is a lot of money in anyone's world. Okay.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, if you look at the investment, for the ladies' dress, let's say,
Yes.
and I take it that brides don't wear their dresses again. Whereas if you invest in a good suit,
Yeah.
you should be able to wear it to other weddings.
Yeah.
You could even wear it as a sports jacket. If you're to get a suit, let's say in a linen, or in something, or a check or something like that, you
Yes.
could wear the jacket by itself as a blazer. So you should be able to, and the trousers as well.
Yeah.
Like if you get a really well cut pair of trousers, you can wear it with a pair of sneakers and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Sneakers and a suit.
Well,
but it looks well.
Well, no, sneakers and a pair of trousers, and a suit as well.
Yeah.
But I always encourage couples when they're in, obviously we pick the suit for the day.
Yes.
But then I show them different ways of styling it up, let's say, for afterwards, that they can get use out of it rather than just waiting to go to another wedding.
Yeah, of course.
So I would have said it's an investment.
Yeah.
And we also have suits off the rack, $695.
I definitely think, that's my own opinion from listening to Martin, I definitely think a good suit is an investment, because, he would have suits that he would have got off his 10 years ago and they're still brand spanking new.
Is it the same size?
Is he the same size? Elasticated waists. You don't like them, sure you don't after COVID. Talk to me about that.
Well, I think if you spend your life sitting in an elasticated waist, it's not going to work out for you. Let's put it that way.
You've had some influencers in with you, haven't you?
Yeah. We've had a lot of influencers, and and I think for the brand it's been good because it gives us the opportunity to show what we do.
Yes.
In a contemporary way.
Yeah.
We did the TJ Reid and Niamh de Bruyne wedding last year.
Yes.
And that was everywhere. He looked good, but she looked unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think that wedding really kicked off velvet jackets as well.
Yeah.
Because we put him in a velvet jacket.
He looked
incredible.
So handsome in his suit. He really did.
But he's a good model.
He's a fine thing.
Yeah. and they're a lovely couple. We did the Lauren Arthur's wedding.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And John, he looked really cool.
Yeah.
Bonnie Ryan. So
yes.
I've dealt with a lot of those weddings. But as I said to you, it gives us the opportunity, let's say, to show that that we create a really contemporary kind of fitting suit.
Yeah.
And we look after the whole wedding. So the groomsmen, the groom, the fathers, everything would be looked after,
Yeah. I just love to see nice suits. There's nothing worse than rocking up and seeing suits that are just not tailored right. And I do see that sometimes as well. But a lot of times I would see my lads in the Louis Copeland stuff.
Yeah. And I think, business is absolutely unbelievable at the moment. We're having a great time.
Amazing.
And I think that it's always really exciting dealing with a young couple because it's an exciting purchase.
Yeah, of course.
It's very satisfying, let's say, to see, the pictures that they send us through Instagram, that kind of thing, and that they're happy and they look really good.
Yeah.
I think a suit makes a big difference.
So basically, when they start getting engaged, that's not the time to go into you. 10 weeks should be plenty of time.
I had a fella in to me one time before, right? Okay, and he said to me, when are you getting married? He says, well, I haven't asked her yet.
Because I don't have one yet.
Well, I was presuming that he had a girlfriend. But I would have said, you know, certainly kind of 10, 15 weeks out minimum. You know, I'm dealing with a lot of weddings at the moment, by the way, for next summer, you know, June, July.
Yeah.
You know, and they're coming into me now. So
it really is individual when they want to go in, but you're saying like 10 weeks.
I'm saying minimum.
Yeah, minimum 10 weeks. Yeah.
Now, by the way, if you came in the day before, we'd find a way of fitting you out as well.
Of course you would. Which you were telling me something very funny about somebody's suit recently, wasn't it?
Which was it?
Was this John, what's his name? John Riley?
Oh, John C. Riley.
John C. Riley. Yeah. Tell them all about that. That's funny.
So we did, he was leading the Paddy's Day parade.
Yeah.
So he had gone in contact with us. He wanted us to make him an Irish tweed suit, which we did in green, and he looked amazing. Did you see him on the Late Late Show that night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he gave such an unbelievable plug.
Amazing.
Like Ryan Tuberty says, "How are you today?" He goes, "Sure, I'm great. I'm day after being in Louis Copeland's and got my green suit." And you can see Ryan throwing Ryan throwing his eyes up to heaven, saying, you know, but yeah, no, he so you know, we had great fun with him, and when he was in the store, we asked him to do a remake, let's say, of the opening scene of Step Brothers. Okay. Right? So I said to him, "John, would you do me a huge favour?"
Yeah.
And I said, "You can tell me to F off if you want, right? Yeah. Okay." And he goes, "Dave, F off, right?" So I said to him, "John, would you mind doing the opening scene of Step Brothers again with Louis?" Yeah. And we put the music. You can see it on our Instagram. Okay, it's on one of our Instagram reels, and they do that. But the gas thing is, I had my cameraman waiting, right, and I told him to put all the cameras and everything in the changing room. So that if I asked John, he said yes, we could do it, right? So I said to John, "Try on the trousers there, but didn't you go into the change room with the cameras in it?" He said, "Dave, are you trying to pap me?" So then we dropped the suit up to him up in the Merrion, myself and Louis, that later on that night, right? Yeah. Okay, and I think John was kind of having a few whiskies, right? Oh, yeah. So we were up in the room and we were having a chat with him and everything like that. And I said, "John, are you going to try on the suit?" He goes, "Where's the suit?" Nobody could find the suit. He'd lost the suit. So we were like, "What in the name of God are we going to do? He's supposed to be wearing this at the Paddy's Day parade, a green tweed suit." But anyway, after an hour and a half, we found the suit.
Oh, you found the suit. It was just like missing in action, was it?
Well, I think it was thrown down the back of the wardrobe. But anyway, we found the suit.
And this is going to make one of my friends very jealous, Jackie. She's big style into Patrick Dempsey, and you had him in your store.
Oh, we had a fantastic relationship with Patrick Dempsey, and he is what you see is what you get. He is just the nicest guy. He's Mr. Cool, you know. And you know, during that period of the summer, on WhatsApp, he was talking to me nearly every day. You know, wow. And we met him loads of times, and he was so delighted. In fact, right. Okay, with the suits that we made from when he collected them. He said, "Dave, do you want me to come back, right, to do a photo shoot in the store?" So on the Sunday morning.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, okay, Patrick. Let me see if I have any availability there for you, right? So on a Sunday morning, I'll never forget it. It was a beautiful Sunday morning. It was sunny. And up the street with his glasses on, sure nobody would have known who he was, walks Patrick Dempsey into the store for an hour and a half, took loads of pictures and everything like that. And
wow.
And by the way, we still make him suits. So we
really,
because we have his measurements now. We did made to measure for him.
Yeah.
So we still send him over suits every season. And he was going to the Monaco Grand Prix there last season.
Yeah.
And he rang me up and he wanted me to make him a suit for that, and we sent the suit over.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Holy God, Jeannie Macra. So you actually touched Patrick Dempsey. She'd be so jealous over that. And then talk to me about your Instagram page. So you have like an Instagram page yourself called Style Doc.
Yeah, Style Doc. Mm-hmm. And I suppose where that page was kind of grown out of was during COVID.
Yeah.
Because before that, I didn't have an Instagram page. And we figured out very quickly that it's very hard to talk to customers in the shop now because they couldn't come into the shop. So we have to find new ways of getting in front of them.
Yes.
So we concentrated on the social channels. So we concentrated on the Louis Copeland Instagram. Yeah. We concentrated on our LinkedIn. Right. As a platform, and also then my Style Doc. Now the Style Doc thing just went bananas. Now obviously Patrick might have helped that, right? Okay, so it just went bananas. But I would have so couples can book directly with me through the bio. Okay,
right.
I'd have every week 5, 6, 7 couples booking directly with me through that. And I think Instagram is a great tool to give people ideas.
Yes, of course.
You know,
it is, yeah.
and certainly the idea of my page is to offer solutions and ideas for guys to dress not only for weddings but smart casual and in work. And it seems to be going very well.
Amazing. And tell me, have you ever had any little disasters go wrong with suits?
Like in every business, it doesn't go right all the time. You didn't tell me you're going to ask me this question, by the way.
He's afraid of his life now to say.
But I tell you, so last summer was very stressful. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was very stressful was because when we opened up those doors, you know, we had done a lot of marketing wedding shows and all the online wedding shows during COVID, right?
Yes.
So when we opened up the doors, we had like 200, 250 bookings ready to get their suits.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
But it was like, there was queues around the corner.
Stop.
Yeah. So, but what happened was there was a huge amount of pressure on fabrics, on production, you know, because we're just so busy, which is a great complaint.
Yeah.
So we won for one wedding, and I don't think we let down one single wedding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's funny, and when a crisis happens in the store, I always say to the guys, look, we've always got out of a crisis before. Yeah. I don't think it's going to change now.
Exactly.
But one time we had to fly one of our guys over to Italy to collect the suit the day before the wedding, right?
Stop.
Okay. Back and delivered the suit the night before the wedding. But that's the kind of thing, Jenny, that we'll do. We'll go to the end of the earth to get it right.
Jesus, thankfully that doesn't happen much, David. You wouldn't have a business if you were flying them all over to Italy.
No, you wouldn't. But like, I suppose what I'm trying to get across is that, you know, we'll do whatever.
You don't let anyone down.
Yeah, but we try our best. Now, look, like in any business, Jenny.
Yes, so I know
things go wrong.
I
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you go to the restaurant, if you saw everything that happened in the kitchen now, you know what I mean? You might get a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
But we do our very best, and we are blessed that we have absolutely great sales guys in the stores, and they go above and beyond all the time.
Yeah. So this is probably your busiest time of year now, is it? Like,
well, as I said to you earlier on, it's nearly kind of we're nearly doing Christmas figures all the time now because the weddings during the summer and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is, and at the moment it focuses more on casual wear than on the suits.
Yeah.
So at the moment the stores are busy, you know, selling outerwear, knitwear, you know, Christmas outfits, presents, that kind of stuff. And
talk to me about day 2 of a wedding then.
Yeah.
Do you recommend that they get something not as flashy for day 2, but like, you know, would you sell a day 2 outfit?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. So, and I think, you know, when couples come into the store, they're very focused on getting the day 1.
Yeah.
And sometimes then when they're collecting stuff, they go, oh yeah, what about day 2?
Exactly.
So, you know, I think that, you know, a lot of weddings are 3-day events now.
Yeah.
So they're getting kind of an outfit for the night before, an outfit for the day, and then the day after. Now, excuse me, I wouldn't recommend that you should wear a suit the day before or the day after.
Yeah.
Get a nice smart casual outfit.
Yes.
You know, maybe a blazer like I'm wearing today, or even just a nice piece of knitwear and a pair of chinos, but plan it.
Yeah.
Take the pressure off yourself.
Exactly.
Because again, the last thing you want to be doing is running around 2 days, 3 days, 4 days before the wedding, trying to put these outfits together.
I know.
And our team are there to help with that as well.
And you know what I loved? Because I went in with Martin to you. Was it last year or the year before? And you sold him this.
Swacket.
Thank you. I was like, oh God, I can't remember the name of that thing. A swacket. Tell everybody what a swacket is.
So it's a knitted blazer.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a piece of knitwear cut like a blazer.
Yeah.
And we are doing unbelievable with these at the moment.
Yeah.
And they're perfect because they're perfect for smart casual. You can just wear them with a t-shirt underneath it, or you can wear it with a kind of open neck shirt. I like wearing them with a pair of slacks sometimes and a shirt and tie.
Yeah.
So you can get loads of wear out of them. But they're ideal for the night before or the day after a wedding.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And I suppose when people think of Louis Copeland, they always think
suits.
Yeah, they think suits. And it's not the case at all.
It's not. I'd say suits is probably only not even half of our business now at the moment.
Yeah.
Because smart casual is huge.
Yes.
You know, and you think about it, all these guys that would have gone to work wearing suits every day, right? And suits are easy, by the way. You buy a navy, a blue, a grey, a couple of white shirts, a couple of blue shirts. Whereas now they have to put together a whole smart casual wardrobe and have suits in the wardrobe as well.
Yeah. But you're brilliant. I remember that day going in and you took out a couple of pair of slacks or trousers, whatever you called them, Dave. And like you had Martin in about 55 different outfits with 4 pieces. Like seriously.
But and that's exactly what I try to get across on Instagram as well, right? Okay,
Yeah.
It's to give guys solutions, and if you make your women are great at this, by the way.
Yeah.
If you make your wardrobe work for you,
Yes.
you get a lot out of it. Like, I mean, people must think that I have 20 wardrobes at home, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm just really good at working the wardrobe.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, I think that's what we're here to help guys do.
Yeah. So work in the wardrobe. So you can have anything from like a shirt or, what you have on you there, like a little turtleneck.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And knitwear underneath the jacket is really easy.
And it's really smart looking.
It's really smart looking. But then I'd wear this with a pair of jeans, going out for dinner on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Do you know that way? So even with the blazer, you can wear it with a t-shirt underneath it. You can wear it with a shirt underneath it, with a turtleneck underneath it. It's just about, as I said, maximizing the wardrobe. And if you're going to be investing in good quality pieces,
Yeah.
you need to make sure that you're not just putting them in the wardrobe and waiting to bring them out every so often, that you're working
Yeah.
it.
And the footwear, like I was mesmerised by the footwear because they're not just shoes.
Yeah.
They're all these, what you call them? They're like
Open
runneries.
walkers.
Oh,
Sorry. You're talking about sneakers.
Yeah, sneakers, yeah.
And I think if a guy puts a pair of navy sneakers into his wardrobe or a pair of brown sneakers, he's going to be able to wear them so many times.
Yeah.
Rather than wearing Nikes or something
With
like that.
different colour slacks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the trouser area, you have jeans, you have chinos. We're selling a lot of 5-pocket cotton cashmere trousers at the moment, right?
5 pocket.
Yeah.
Why would you need 5 pockets?
So 5-pocket actually means that they're 5-pocket means that they're cut the same way as a jean,
Right.
but in a chino style.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
And so where do you get all your stuff from? Do you make everything here? Does it get made somewhere else? How does it work? 'Cause, I mean, I know you have little. I've gone to the loo in Louis Copeland's and I see them all with their little machines upstairs. So what the hell are they doing? Are they just like altering? What are they doing?
The loos in Louis Copeland's aren't too fancy now, really, are they?
No.
If we have a good Christmas, we'll get them done up.
But there's like a little machine, you have it in Dundrum as well. So
Yeah.
what do you do? Are you altering or what are you up to?
Okay, so the majority of our stock we buy from Italy.
Right.
We have our own production in Portugal. That's where we make our own stuff.
Right.
And we deal with kind of a Dutch company as well, right? So
Yeah.
what you're seeing happening though is we in all the stores we have an alterations room.
Right. So
Now-
that's what that is.
Now that's one of the secrets to our success.
Yeah.
So if a customer comes in and he's buying a pair of jeans and he wants to wear them out that evening, we can have them shortened in 10 minutes.
Stop.
Yeah, and it's the same with suits. And you know what? It's a business model that has worked out so well for us
Yeah.
because again, it's given great service to the customers.
Amazing. Before we go, have you any tips that you can give for a groom for his wedding day besides two shirts?
2 shirts, shoes. And, one of the big tips, I'm sure you've seen this go wrong,
Yeah.
is groomsmen. So if groomsmen are getting if groomsmen are getting dressed in the same room,
Yes.
they start swapping suits around.
Stop.
So think about
I
it.
know.
It might be 4 of the exact same suit
Yeah.
in 4 different sizes.
Yes.
Yeah. So the tip I would have is that, give everyone the suit kind of a few days beforehand, get them to do a checklist themselves.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And get them to get into the suit by themselves.
Okay.
Okay. Because then, and the other tip I'd have for the groom, like, do a checklist 2 days before. Don't wait till the morning and open up the suit and say, oh God, I'm missing a tie or I'm missing whatever. Check 2 days before
That you have everything.
that you have everything.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very important.
Yeah. And then the other little bugbearer of mine, David, is waistcoats that are not long enough in the front.
Yeah.
And you can see the shirt sticking out. That drives me nuts.
Yeah, and I think it's important as well. If you're carrying a bit of weight,
Yes.
you have to be careful with waistcoats.
Okay.
Okay, you need plenty of length on them because
Yes.
when you sit down, they can ride up a little bit. But yeah, I would have said with a waistcoat, better a little bit longer than too short.
Yeah. You don't want to see the shirt.
You shouldn't. It should just meet the waistband. But of course, if you're carrying a bit of weight, that can fluctuate slightly.
Yeah.
So you need to again. You just need to go to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying Louis Copeland is the only people in the world that know what they're doing.
I know.
But if a groom goes to a reputable place that knows what they're doing, they shouldn't have that problem.
Yeah. And then tell me, that's it. So any more tips? Any more tips for the lads?
Well, the other tip I would have for couples more so than lads is, and we've mentioned it earlier on, is to do a bit of homework beforehand.
Right.
Okay. Now, we're not saying put a professional mood board together, right? Okay. But certainly have an idea. Do I want to go for evening wear? Do I want to go for lounge wear, as in a suit or tuxedo?
Yeah.
You know, what kind of colours have I seen that I like?
Mm-hmm.
Where am I getting married? You know, what kind of fabric do I need? Because that makes that initial conversation easier. Because every groom that comes in, I say, did you have anything in mind? No. And and then you say to them, have you seen anything that you like now? And then it comes out then.
Right.
So but I do think it's important, do a little bit of a homework before you, not make decisions, but just do a little bit of homework beforehand, and it makes the process a lot easier.
Yeah, perfect. Well, it was so lovely talking to you, David. You have so much to say. Oh my God, you could write a book.
Yeah, watch this space.
David, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me on my podcast.
Thanks, Jenny. Thanks a million for having me.